Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. Welcome into our studio today. I haven't done this for a while, but my name is Susan Block. If you're joining us for the first time, I work here at the TE studios that are located in Ankeny, Iowa, and we're talking New Year's cards today. So let me see who's joining us for our chat. Good morning. Good morning. I see Hawaii. Ooh, that sounds warm and nice. It's very foggy from Utah, foggy northern Utah. It is very foggy here too today. So yeah, we had the colder weather and heavy clouds. It has been misty and foggy for like 2 days. So when the sun comes out, we're gonna be like, hey, we missed you. Almost forgot about you. So we've got Illinois, another Hawaii, and Tennessee and Arizona and Michigan. Thanks you all for joining me. I hope you joined Taylor on Tuesday. She started the kickoff of our New Year's Eve release. I haven't made New Year's cards. I can't remember if I have very often. If I'm a Thanksgiving card person, I have those ready to go. New Year's is going to happen this year for me just because this whole collection is so easy, and I just think it might be unexpected for someone, and it's just as nice after all the commotion of Christmas to have something in your mailbox that's not another bill. I think it would make someone's day, so I'm going to do that this year, especially being it's so easy what we put together for you. So I am going to talk about that today. Don't forget, for the rest of the week or until supplies last, we do have that whole collection of our New Year's products all put together at 20% off in a little bundle for you. So that runs until Tuesday at 8:59 a.m. Central Time. Or, as I always say, just do it by Monday night so you don't miss out or don't forget or something doesn't sidetrack you. And then also, just in case if supplies would run out. So, good morning. Seriously, it's so foggy here. It wasn't like dangerously foggy, like I could still see to come to work and stuff, but you couldn't see very far. And I was kind of like, when I was coming to work, I have to go past a rest area, and it's like halfway into my trip, and I was so shocked. I was like, I haven't gone past the rest area yet. When it's that foggy, you can't quite tell, where you're at or what mile marker you're on. So I hope you have sun wherever you are. And I don't know, do any of you guys have the entire week off next week like my girls do? They are completely off of college next week. So some of you might be really ticking it down for the week and enjoying a holiday week next week. So happy Thanksgiving before I forget to say it. I'm excited. I have 2 different family gatherings, none of them on Thanksgiving Day, but I think it's kind of funny that this year we don't have anywhere to go on Thanksgiving. So, but the rest of the weekend is quite full. So I hope you are doing something fun and enjoying some family time. So let's get down and I will show you my projects. And I didn't even put them here. I have my foilets laying there, but these are what we're gonna make today, and they are so super easy. Quick, easy, especially if you like the mink and you do that, but I would highly recommend if you don't, black is just fine. So the black would be wonderful. Before I get much further, Whitney, I could use your help if you would come in here. I forgot something major. So anyway, the 2026 foilets that we released, I think are so cute, and they make this whole process so easy. And if you don't use the mink, using them in black and white is just great. So I think black, gold, silver, something sparkly. So leaving them the black toner is perfect. And I think it could be kind of interesting to see where this could go for if you have some left over for graduation. I forgot the 2026 foilets. That is like a major.
Okay, I got this.
Thank you, Whitney. All of a sudden I looked down and I was like, I thought I was pretty prepared. So, yeah, I even was die cutting things to be ahead of myself. So, Yeah, or
See
some
which
of
one you got here.
Yeah, I don't
So
care.
this
Either one is
one.
great. Thank you. I
Yes.
can't believe. And what is the name of that one in particular?
This one is, I think, Foil It 2020.
Foil It 2026 probably.
I think, but I'll
Yeah.
pop it in there.
Awesome. Thank you. But all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, this is a major miss. So we need that. Thank you thank you very much. And then anyway, but what I was saying is, see, I just think you could then layer that with red and gold and with some accents. You wouldn't even have to foil, but we are going to foil today. And yes, someone else just said this year went by fast. I completely agree with you. I feel like I was just adjusting to writing 2025. And the crazy part is here at TE, we do calendars. So the whole thought of 2027 is already on the horizon for those. So it's crazy to me how fast time goes. But this is what we're going to talk about today. And I was going to show you, you can either do this with the Disco Vibes Foil It, or you can do it with just a plain piece of sugar cube cardstock. Whatever works for you. I'll walk through both. But I'll try to keep kind of my cards in the vicinity without making them dirty. A lot of times I've got to scooch them out of the way because I get a little, messy with my crafting. So, oh no, that's funny. Closed captioning can kind of mess up words sometimes. So in the Disco Vibes, there's tons of different patterns in there. These two, this one you end up covering if you use the die cut, but I do really appreciate having the lines. I think it works nice. Then there's other ones like this one that will give you a few more things and sparkles going on, but I knew I was going to use the Disco Vibes dress up dies, so I would be covering it up, and then this line wouldn't really make sense. Let me see. Let's see what the other ones are in here. This one, which has the squares and the lines, again, these outer lines will get covered up by our die cut. So this one, if you want to be able to get these larger chunks of pieces, this one will help you just always light up your stencil and you won't have to use the alignment guides. Lots of options, lots of ways to use them. I will show you both ways that I did. You can do it this way. This one is just easy if you don't want to have to do, lay down the line, your alignment guide, squares, and that kind of stuff. This will just help you line that up, and you can cut it off and keep the rest of it for another project. Or I'm going to show you, because you don't need, if you don't want the foilets for this foiling and catching these squares that add a little bit more to your disco ball, which I did not use this one in here, but that is the one I'm going to finally in the end create today, because I wanted to show you what that looks like in comparison to what I've already done. But I wanted to show you, if you just want like this one, I didn't even use a full sheet. If you just want just the one, using those alignment guides will help make sure each layer is lined up for you. And I didn't necessarily need a 6x6 paper to do that. It's just habit that I went and cut that. You could cut just enough, like this is an A2, 5.5 by 4.25. Just enough to catch those two alignment guides is really helpful. So let me grab my stencil set here. And I'll show you how I did the teal one. So if you would like to use just the stencil set on its own, which is the Disco Vibes layering stencil, we'll go ahead, put down a little bit of tape to hold it in place. I'm going to use just teal tape today so I don't have to clean up my removable tape. Put that on my paper, and then I would, especially if I'm not using something that's giving me the lines ahead of time like this one is, I definitely want to mark those squares. So I'm going to take a pencil, mark the squares off. And then, I'm just going to use the smaller one down in the bottom corner, because it's the round one, the heart one, and then the bigger round one. I can just focus on this area. If you wanted to really salvage your paper, you could mask that off, put Post-it notes over there, whatever you want to do. If you wanted, you could even like rotate this and then do another one in each of the four corners as you go around. Whatever works for you. Let's get my I love my glass board buddy, and we're gonna start this. This one is done with confetti cake, a light hand and a heavy hand, and then also a blue raspberry light hand and heavy hand, because there's 4 layers to this stencil, but that made it so that I could kind of keep it with the colors I wanted, because I really wanted, I don't know, I just didn't want it to be super busy, and I didn't want it to get super dark. I just kind of wanted to focus on the glitziness of it. So I'm going to go very light-handed with my confetti cake, and I did decide to use my detail brushes today, just because I'm only working in this little area, and kind of helps keep me out of these other areas if I do want to salvage my paper. So that would give us layer 1 of this one. Like I said, quick. I am going to, because I want to go on and show you the pink version. So I am going to buff that off. This cloth hasn't been used yet today, so there's no wet, like alcohol spray on it. Are you guys excited that I'm curious, I didn't see anyone chime in. Do you guys have next week off fully? I would be curious, because I'd be excited for you. We are still here at TE. We do have Thursday, Friday off, so which is good. Like I said, Friday I do have a Thanksgiving on Friday, so that was my confetti cake. Now I'm going to go to layer 2, and we're going to do a heavier hand of my confetti cake. Less kind of tapping off so that I can get a full strength of it. You could use your bitty brushes or your regular ones too. Completely up to you. I just chose today these because I knew we have them labeled here at TE, so we know exactly which color it is. I knew I would get a pure color from these today. Not contaminated with anything else. So let me peek. Just kind of want to see how dark that's getting. So I did a light with layer 1 of confetti cake. This one's a heavier hand. Nope, that looks good. We'll move on. Wipe that off too. I might still come back in and give them a quick wipe just to make sure, because I don't want mud with my pink. I want it to be not contaminated. So we'll move on to 3, sorry, and then we'll move on to blue raspberry, which that is the cardstock color I'm using today. And again, using these alignment guides, if I had the lines from the foilet, it would make it really easy. I know you guys are all chatting. Okay, I'm just going to tell you now, I don't have tea to spill, because next week is, I'm sure no one knows, but next week is Black Friday, and our bundles and stuff will start later in the week, so there is no Tuesday release, but make sure you come back on Tuesday and join Taylor, because she is going to be going over all those bundles on Tuesday. So a couple of notes for you. That means there is no video that's going up on Saturday. And that also means I don't have any tea to spill. Sorry. Wipe that off again. But I am excited myself about the Black Friday, what's coming. Black Friday, it is on the website under our events and community that you can click on that and then go to Black Friday. And it says that we have 20, so that's no secret. We have 20% off next week with our Black Friday sale. Back to this is layer 4. I'm using those alignment squares again. And then I'm this time going in with a very heavy hand of that blue raspberry. Full strength, as much as I can, with my light-handedness that I am when I blend. So, and with this and the small areas in this, just make extra sure you go clockwise and counterclockwise with your blending, so that you get all the areas. Okay, I like where that's going. I wanted to show you, and I'm not going to finish this card live because it won't be dry. It's probably very hard to see, but in this sample, I did take layer 2 and one of my light layers of the confetti cake, and I did a little bit of our happy medium through the stencil. So if that's something you want to do, I'm really trying hard to go easy when it comes to my New Year's cards. But if you have some extra time and you want to let them dry, this is where I would clean it off a little bit as best I can. And then I would take my Happy Medium and put it through over top. So I'll show you, just so you can see it, what my layer 4 looks like, to give you some dimensional ideas of what 1 and 2 being of that confetti cake and 3 and 4 being the blue raspberry. But if this is where I would clean that off, and I can use some of our Happy Medium. This is our Iridescent. This is probably my most used. My biggest tip about using the Iridescent glitter paste Happy Medium is 1, keep that little white thing in the lid that's on the top. Make sure you keep that. And 2, put color underneath of it, because it's very opaque. You can see right through it. So you want to make sure you have some color down. Otherwise, I'll show you this one. This is what it looks like just on white. Do you see how it just has a pretty iridescent kind of silvery look to it? But it doesn't really show up. I think it shows up almost better when you have a color underneath of it. But still, it's pretty like that too. Whatever works for you. But scrape that off. And being as I didn't clean my stencil off fully, I can see a little bit of teal there, so I'm not going to put that back in, but that's really not that much that I'm not going to utilize and save. So I'm going to grab a baby wipe and wipe that off, and then we will, my spatula is ready to go, and I feel like I wiped that good enough. I could come in that now with my squeegee and wipe over the top, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. And this is where I like to make sure I hold one side still or have extra tape on one side. But that gives you just another little bit of glitter to that layer. It looks so small being so I picked a 6x6 here. So let me get this picked up and put aside to dry. I'm going to wipe up this stencil because we do want it so I can do the pink version. But that, I would say I would at least give that 2 or 3 hours to dry, depending on your climate that you're in, just because it takes a little bit longer to dry. Like if you've used other pastes, they might dry a little faster. This one, just a little bit longer, I would say. So I'd give it, I don't know. I like to do these things and then just put them aside to dry and come back to it the next day. So I'm also going to spray this a little bit with my alcohol. Wipe this up, and we'll wipe the other 3 just to be sure that we're ready to go. My bottle is getting low. Just so we can do the other one. Okay, 3, 2, and last but not least, layer 1. I am so thankful that we figured out using alcohol to clean our stencils. Makes it so much easier. Set that aside. So this one, I'm going to put it back up in the camera. Can you see that sparkle from that last layer 4? And I can see that I got some areas a little thicker, so that will take just a little bit longer to dry. But then you use the circle die that is in the Good Vibes die set, and that will cut that out. We'll set that one aside, but that is what I did for this one. Those are the colors I used for this one. This is our TE glitter cardstock. That one is, I believe it's called, because it's hot pink, and I think the other one might be teal. I apologize, I guess I didn't write it down, but I know that the pink one is hot pink. So but I used our teal glitter to make that bow on the top, but I'll assemble the other one. But that's the colors I used for that one. So then to bring this one in, because for this one, I do want to utilize these areas that are open here. Okay. So, and I believe that's usually it is layer 1 that we're omitting. So we'll skip layer 1. We don't even need it. And we will move on, and we'll be on to layer 2. I'm going to tack this down with some teal tape. And this time, being this is a foilet and I don't want to contaminate these, I might take a little bit of tape, Post-it tape. I love, T keeps carrying this. I hope it doesn't go away. It's our Post-it removable labeling tape. It's just so nice that you can rip off just what you need. I will put that on my stencils just so I can salvage the heart for another project. So with the foilet, good vibes, it has the alignment squares marked off for you. I also do double check with my eyes just to make sure I'm in the right spot. Oops, I moved it with my tape. Let me fix that. Align that up. Again, this is layer 2 because layer 1 is omitted from with the foilet. So I'm just going to barely tack that down, and I'm going to ink with Strawberry Milkshake is my color combo for this one, and Dragon Fruit and Oyster is the other color that I chose to add to this. I have things falling over off to the side. Okay, so we're going to start with Strawberry Milkshake. Double checking, is it black? This underneath, if you're asking about what's underneath of here, that's the Disco Vibe foilet. So yes, it's a toner that's black that's printed on there. So I'm going to come in and use our Strawberry Milkshake. I wanted more of a pinky vibe for this one, so that's why I chose Strawberry Milkshake. I do like bubblegum with dragon fruit sometimes too, but I felt like it gave more of a reddish lean to it. So I liked the pinky vibe that this is. So again, just using my detail brushes. And being that it's the smallest one, I feel like it goes so fast. So that's layer 2. Then we'll grab layer 3. I'm going to salvage that Post-it tape so we can take it along with me to each layer. I might, just so my mink can be heating up, go ahead and turn that up off screen. Turn that on just so it's warmed up for us, ready to go. Line that up, tape that down. Again, alignment squares are right there, but I'm also double checking the lines within my image. Lightly tacking that down, and then we'll go in with Dragon Fruit for layer 3. Sorry, that's my mink all ready to go. Just get rid of my blue raspberry. No one caught me on that yet. Come in with my, uh-oh, what did I do? Did you all see me do that? We're not gonna tell, are we? We're gonna come in with dragon fruit, like I said. I grabbed the oyster ink pad by accident. Didn't mean to. I figured it out really quickly. Ink blend, dragon fruit in here. I stopped to look at comments for a second and didn't watch where my hand went. Thanks, you like my colors. I didn't want to do, I kind of wanted something a little less formal than what gold and silver would be. I love gold and silver sparkly for New Year's. I think it's absolutely like the perfect choice to pick, but with the disco balls I kind of wanted to go a little more fun, so I picked some of my favorite colors, I guess, pink and teal. Let me peek and see where we're at here. This looks good. We will again grab my extra piece here and we will move on to layer 4. And that's going to be a little bit of that oyster that I just tried to use. Luckily, it wasn't the other way around, using the oyster brush and dragon fruit. I'm not sure I could redeem myself on that one. But this worked. Did anyone say that they, I don't know, I know my kids have all next week off, and I feel like with all the traffic that I'm seeing, there's got to be other people that are taking off this week. So I saw nothing. I thank you for that. That's hilarious, Jennifer. I love it. Thank you. I saw nothing. I don't even think I have to tell anyone because it looks fine. Where did my brush go? I was going to show you my brush. Dragon fruit is so forgiving because it's got a lot of attitude. It took over that oyster, no problem. So let's come in, and I did flip that Post-it tape around so I don't have the dragon fruit over here because oyster's kind of a light color and it could pick it up, and then we'll have kind of a funky gray color. Oyster's probably my favorite gray because it's so cool. Doesn't have a lot of brownish gray tones. It's just very bright for a gray. You know, I don't know if you can use that explanation for a gray, but it's bright. It's very cool. I'm going to add another piece of tape just so I can hinge this. I want to see how dark my gray is. I don't want it to be too dark. Let's peek here. Oh, I kind of like that because then the next thing I'm going to have is the silver, and I want that in there. So I might just run over this corner a little bit, but I kind of like the tones I've got. So let's clean up for good. Get some of this ink off of my glass board here. Peel this up. This I'll stick on the top of my box, and I do reuse that as long as I can. I cherish that stuff. All right, get these out of the way. I don't think we'll need them, but I'll save them. Honestly, I know the bundles a little bit, but I'm anxious to see them all put together myself. Because, you know, I see parts and pieces. It'll be fun to see how it gets all put together. It's going to be good. You get to see it on Tuesday, so set your alarms for 10 a.m. That would be great. Oh, are you giving a suggestion? I was thinking, I don't know. Does the cardstock usually sell out fast? I don't know. That's a good question. We had some issues with cardstocks, but I feel like it's gotten so much better. So I might not think so, but set your alarm so that you're ready to go on Black Friday and get it ordered, or at least maybe I've been putting stuff on my wish list on the TE website. If you're signed into your account, you can create a wish list, and I've been putting anything that's on my wish list on there so that I'm ready to go fast fingers on Friday. So I'm going to save this, put that aside. We're going to put this through the ink. I also want to talk you through these foilets, and I'm going to do the 2026 while I'm at it here. I'm going to grab some of our pink sparkle. This is a newer one. Oh gosh, isn't this pretty? I don't know. It's my favorite in the gold and silver too, so I am obviously pretty partial. But isn't that beautiful? I'm going to go ahead and cut that while I'm here, just so that once I have my ink pulled into screen, I can do both things while we're here. Set that aside. And then let's also grab this. I'm going to use our TE Disco Foil cardstock. This goes really well with it. It's our holographic silver glitter foil. It goes really well with it, and I thought it'd be really fun to have those be glittery also. So let me grab this. Oh, my roll's kind of gotten away from me. Save my little dot. Get a square here. Roll that back up. Put that back in its tube. I know Taylor showed you guys on Tuesday, but slide it in. I always put my cap onto the roll and then slide the base of the roll onto there. And then I think my ink should be good and warmed up for us now. Grab that and bring it in. It's at a setting of 3. I have my carrier sheet. Going to also use a Swiffer. I always wipe the back of my foil and my project with a Swiffer. Put that on there. We can run this through the ink machine. So here at the office, I know my machine, and honestly my machine at home is the same way. A 3 is great. So I have that heating up. It's been heating up, I don't know, what would you say, about 5 minutes that I've had it going. And I have my carrier sheet, our TE Magic Shim, the cardstock, and then the foil with the dull side to my toner. So let me show you. So this is where I can see my black toner. You want the shiny side away from it, so looking up at you. We'll send that through. Yeah, I would agree. Someone chimed back about the cardstock. Yeah, it happens that one or two will run out, but I think we've done a lot better. This year's been a good year for getting all of our cardstocks back in stock. It's awesome. Yeah, and I know on Tuesday, Taylor will go over all the things. So, yeah. I'm going to let this run through. I do like to let my foil cool before I peel it off. So I'm going to set that there while I will take, again, just Swiffer or a clean microfiber cloth I think would work. I just have always chose Swiffers because I use them for other things like getting rid of glitter and that kind of stuff. So I've got my toner, the black looking at me, but again, that would be beautiful all on its own. We're going to lay the pink stars and sparkles with the pink showing up at me on top of it. Take this one out. Oh, I did a boo-boo. Do you see that? If you don't cover up the foil or the toner, it will foil onto your carrier sheet. I can clean that up later with just a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It'll come off. I'm not going to worry about it. I think it'll be fine. I can flip this. I'll clean it up later. Again, are we not going to tell? No telling. Let's put this on here. Well, we had our Black Friday last week, so that question won't even apply. I do have one other company I was able to order its hair product from already for Black Friday, and I compared the deal to last year and it seemed the same, so I went ahead and got it. We'll see. Isn't the Stars and Sparkles so fun? It's one of my favorite. It's in gold, silver, orange, blue, green, and pink, I think. Did I say gold and silver? I'm pretty sure I did. So I just love this pink one. It's probably my favorite. So we have lots of colors though. Very warm. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I don't know, I think Taylor said this the other day, I can't help it. It just warms up my hands. I take the heat off of it. We'll let that sit. We can peel this one. Show you my sparkly, isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at that. Look at that. And it's only gonna get even more pretty as we go here. We can pull this out of here. Well, there's our pink Stars and Sparkles. And just for the record, for this one here, I used the Cookie Monster foil for this part. This was one where I just used regular white sugar cube cardstock, so I didn't have a foilable area on that one. This one, technically I did, because I used the foil it with the lines, and then I realized the die cut covers it up, but I will say it was kind of made my whole layering stenciling pretty handy. But if you don't want to waste a foil it and cover it up, don't do that. Grab one of these where you get to see some of it. So let's grab the die for that. This is our Disco Vibes dies. We'll go ahead and we'll set our dies on here. I'm going to set this aside for a second. There's a couple of other things when I bring in my die cut machine. I'm going to die cut this. So there's several sizes. There's 3 of the round, small, medium, and large. I'm using the medium of the detail for the disco ball. And then there's also a small and a medium heart. Isn't that fun? And this is obviously a string for hanging it. We'll bring that in. Then also with our Disco Vibes dress up, or disco dress up, I believe it's called. I love this bow in here. I'm obsessed. So there's tons of other things that you can use. The smiley face, the party hat, the cowboy hat, Santa hat. There's so many things. This is a stem for making cherries. Your disco balls look like they're a cherry hanging. So I'm going to use the bow that comes on that. And we will cut that also well, I already cut them, I guess, actually. I cut two, I already cut one of those, but I do need to cut the sparkly cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I do like to trim when I'm using our, you know, the specialty cardstocks. I like to trim it because sometimes when it goes through the die cut machine, if I just put this on here, I feel like I'll have marring on the extra cardstock that I didn't use. And then, yeah, of course I'll save it. But sometimes I see little marring and it kind of dulls it, especially with the gold and silver. So I do prefer to cut it down. Then last but not least, I need to grab our, so this was the teal version I used. This is the hot pink that I'm going to use for the bow. That's going to go on our card. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out too, just because I'll fit more on my plate with as far as this goes. This is so sparkly and has so much texture, I don't think you would notice any marring from your cutting plates, but I will cut that down just so I can put as much as possible through my machine at once. So let's scooch this out of the way. I don't need to cut that. We're going to cut these three things. Get this whole thing in here. Okay. And both of our foilet, the holographic, and our glitter cardstock cut just fine with our dies. I didn't need anything special. This one I will tape down because I want it to stay in place. So again, this is the medium size of that die. Tape it down. I like to tape it somewhere where there's not foil underneath. So send that through. Swooning over all the sparkle. This is the sparkle I can handle. I'm not Taylor, and that's fine. She knows very well I'm not one for loose glitter. So I do like contained glitter. And this is my favorite way for contained glitter. So oh, Rachel, I'm sorry. Hopefully soon. I saw your comment. I don't know, my husband and I, Christmas is way more important with my family. Thanksgiving, and luckily I have family close, so I do work Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I don't have to travel. It's a beautiful thing not to travel. My family is all within, I think the furthest is like 2.5 hours for us to get to someone in my family. So, all right, put my dies away just so I don't lose any of them. This is my, and we will grab a die pick here quick so that I can punch out some of these pieces in the disco ball. Aren't they pretty? You could, if you're not into foiling, and you do this, let me see if I have my sampler here. If you do like to do this, would like the sparkle in your disco ball and you don't use the ink, if you leave some of these things stuck in here, let me see if I can come up with a good pattern for you. Leave some of them stuck in there and then lay it, oh, I want that piece to go. It's not listening to me. Maybe that one. You could lay it like that over the top so you get some of those. Do you see how I left some of the pieces in the disco die cut? I didn't punch them all out. A few more. If we were to make this look good, we'll take another one out of there. You could take it and lay it over the top if you don't do the mink and the foiling. That's pretty too. You could do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and punch mine all out because I put some foil on there. I would just leave them in there and then just make sure, extra sure you put glue on those pieces because they're technically just hanging in there from your die cutting. So there's that. Let's bring our, man, I made a mess. Let's bring back our 2026. And I am going to use, you could use an A2 or die cut, whatever you would like to do. One of our A2 stacklets. I'm just going to take 1/4 of an inch off of all 4 sides with the trimmer. I normally use, you guys know me very well, I would normally use an A2 die. I didn't grab it today, but so this will work just fine. I do love this trimmer for this exact thing, that it's got the 1/4 of an inch over here, so I could just take the whole panel down by 1/4 of an inch, and I'm gonna change my mind on that. I'm gonna take it down by a little bit less than that. I'm gonna go, because I don't quite want, I'm gonna go 3/8, not 1/4. I'm gonna try an 1/8. Let's do an 1/8 all the way around. I love that you can see it on the other side of your die line, not your die line, your cut line. Something, and I've said this before and I just did it, I always like to use my blade so that it pulls towards me, so it makes it so the cardstock can't move. That is really helpful, because it just kind of shifted on me. That's why I had to cut that one side twice. Double check with the die cut I'm going to put it on. Yes, there we go. An 1/8 worked well. I might take just another 1/8 off. I would normally rather do this with an A2 stacklet. I feel like it would just make it that much more squared up and perfect, but I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. I didn't grab those this morning. I guess I forgot 2 things, but this works. There we go. That should look better. Perfect. There we go. Put that aside, get my scraps out of the way. I took the frame and frame 3 set, and that's what I cut my black licorice cardstock with. Frame and frame 3. So I love these beautiful scallops that are on there. And yeah, this could be used over the top if you would like. If you would like to see those dash lines, that works great too. I just also wanted to see more of my sparkles and the things that were on my foilet around. So, and again, just that black would look great on here if you were not into foiling. These foilets, that black is so rich and nice that I feel like it just will look great on its own too. So let's put a little bit of glue down to glue around here on our frame. I'm going to stay just on the inside of that stitch line that I know I won't get any glue on the front of my project. That over the top. And I did that because then I can just let that dry and build up on top of there. So the next thing is we have our cute little disco ball. We're going to take that. I'm going to go ahead while I'm at it and get this lined up so I know which way I'm going when I've got my glue on there. Just making sure I'm getting it lined up properly so it goes that direction. Double check that I'm not missing anything you guys are trying to get a hold of me about. Rachel, are you having a birthday? Oh, I see what y'all are talking about. Yeah, Black Friday, we did the season of crafting, but we also have actual Black Friday where it's 20% off. I think it's almost everything. I'm not sure if there's any exclusion to any outside company products or anything like that. That I can't answer for you, but it's 20% off, I believe, almost everything. So come back if there's anything you didn't get or anything that wasn't in a category for Season of Crafting. And again, like I said, I started a wish list, which is actually like my shopping cart for Black Friday. So I'm gonna put a magnet on there to hold that in place while that dries. And then my 2 bows, so I did 2 bows on my card. So I've got one with the disco foil, which is here behind, and then one with the hot pink glitter foil. So I will use a magnet on that because this is so non-porous that it takes it a minute to dry, and to keep it in place, the magnet really does the trick. So line that up. Well, I hope everyone gets to eventually have some time off for Thanksgiving and enjoy their family. I am so excited because I actually get to go to both sides this year. Normally, my family, we really celebrate Christmas, so we skip Thanksgiving because we don't want everyone to feel obligated to drive in from the different areas where everyone's coming from. And this year, we're doing just a if you can make it thing at my sister's house. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it's cute because my sister said, I just want my kids to have those memories of the big gatherings like we had at Grandma's house, where you have all your cousins around and you can play and hang out. And she's got, like a foosball at her house and a dartboard. So I know my girls are going to have a good time. So good memories, right? She wants that for her kids too, and so do I. I thought that's fun that she thinks that's important for her kids. So we are actually getting together this year. I'm excited about it. And sometimes we do have to travel for the holidays, and this year we don't. So I'm going to go ahead while that's drying and setting up a little bit. I'm going to peel off the backing of one of my 1x3 1/32 foam and put it on a card base. This is dragon fruit cardstock that I just cut down at the 4 1/4 so I could have a top fold card base. And I'm fighting it. I always want to remind myself I lay it out flat. It keeps it from having that folded cardstock come up, and also tells me I'm gluing my cardstock down the right way. I just did it a couple of weeks ago where I had to cut my panel off of a white card base because I glued it on upside down. So I should listen to my own advice, right? Oh, Rachel's birthday is in January. Oh, happy birthday early, because yeah, I know it's really early. My twins have their birthday at the beginning of December 9th actually, and it's always hard because everyone wants to combine everything and everyone's always so busy, so we try really hard to separate the two. I don't wrap their birthday presents in Christmas paper, all the things. It's hard to have a birthday around the holidays. I agree. Yeah. Oh, all of it. Hanukkah, anniversary, and birthday all in December, January. Wow. Yes, you are wrapping it all into one time of the year. I always said my birthday is in July. I think it's the best time of year to have a birthday. It's like halfway. When I was a kid, it was halfway through the year I got presents again. It's such a selfish thing to think, but I do remember thinking like, I kind of like having a July birthday. So I have a friend whose daughter's birthday is actually on the 24th, so it would be really tough. So, oh, really missing those family gatherings. Family memories are so important. I agree. So I think we'll have a lot of kiddos around for the Thanksgiving gathering. I'm kind of excited. My other side, my husband's side of the family, everyone's all grown and no kids yet. So it's just a bunch of grown-ups sitting around eating too much. I like that. My card is easier. I can actually pay attention to what you guys are all chatting about. So put some more of that 1/32 foam, being as I did that underneath here and underneath here. It's not going to be too tall for mailing. So I like that. That positioned on there. Tape that down. I know I still need to get to my sentiment yet. So we're going to glue that on. I'm going to put just a little bit of foam on that upper part of the bows just to make sure it pops up and stays even with my disco ball. So I'll just cut some little bitty confetti foam tape to put that on there. And then I am going to use the Misty Light to stamp my sentiment. I haven't gotten to use it a ton, but it is handy if you just want to grab one thing quick. I think it could be really great for travel too. When I travel, I usually just bring a few colors and a few blending brushes and cardstock and stencils just because they fold down so light. And I will do that. We are traveling over the Christmas break when my daughters have off college. I do have to put the magnet here to hold that down also. And while that, I'm gonna move it up here and then hold it down. That being that disco cardstock is so non-porous, it doesn't want to, it really takes a minute to glue down. So we'll set that aside while I grab my Misty Light. And this, there's tons of different spots to find sentiments, but I thought this Cue the Confetti was so cute on this one. It is part of our mini strips congrats add-ons. I'm gonna go ahead, we'll put that down on our work surface here. I'm gonna use our big magnetic ponds to hold that in place. I'm going to use a little bit of tape runner on the back of my cardstock so that holds it in place. You could use tape too, whatever works for you. And going to powder this with my anti-static powder tool, and we will ink this up with Versamark. So I already have it set up on here, but this is the rubber side. So you want to make sure when you're pushing it down, you see the right product you're working with. So if I was working with a clear stamp, I want to be able to put the clear here, that when I'm pushing it down, I read the word clear. So for this one, I'm going to put I'm not going to ink up the whole thing so we don't have to emboss it all, because I really just like the Cue the Confetti on this, so I'm just going to do part of it. So we'll press that down. I'm just going to ink up the top 3, 4 here. Give it a press. You could use our Just Press tool. I can't find mine right now in my tornado situation. That is the desk now. Ink that up again, which is the beautiful part of the Misty. I'm going to put my bow die away just so I don't lose it. I just saw it on my work surface. So there we go. Cue the Confetti. I will move my pond magnets out of the way, and my Misty Light, I'll need to clean that up after we're done with the live. I have my white embossing powder, scratch piece of paper. I'm going to heat up my heat tool while we do that. This is normally the part where I like to warm my hands, but I'm going to powder while it's resting there. And you could totally do the whole thing, but I just know I want just the Cue the Confetti. Hey Whitney or Sue, if you happen to be listening, I also forgot the mini strips die. I'm on a roll today. Heat that from the back. This is my sugar cube, or it is our white embossing powder. I need to put my glasses on. Well, hold please. And I just move as I see it melt. Thank you, Sue. Sorry. Man, I usually don't forget a thing, and today I'm like, everything. So there we go. And then I will die cut that and add it. Again, you could have done the whole thing and then saved them. This one, thank you so much, Sue. My goodness. I am not batting 100 today. What would that be? A negative 60? I don't know.
So many things.
I know. I know. Tape that down. Run that through my die cut machine. And absolutely, if you want the whole thing, do the whole thing. This is kind of my cheater thing that I do every once in a while. I did have the idea, I told Taylor once that we should do a die where you can just expose one and do like a drop-in. But I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that sounds like a good idea. Sometimes I just want the one and I'm not sure I'm going to use it again, or I'm in a hurry. That happens too. So we'll run that through, and oh, someone else agrees. Oh, Rachel, you agree. You want to be a summer baby. I will tell you the downside of it. I don't know when I was younger, before, I know now there's rules in school, but we were able to bring in candy to share with people on your birthday. So you could hand it out to your classmates. And I was always a little sad that I didn't get to hand out, bring in a treat to celebrate my birthday. They always celebrated it on your half birthday at school. So that is one of the downsides, I guess, but it was okay. I'm going to get some more of my foam tape. I still at least got to celebrate. It just always felt odd that my teacher would always say, well, you can bring in candy in on your half birthday or whenever you want. And just seemed a little, I don't know, it wasn't my birthday, but we celebrated it. That's the only downside to a summer birthday. So, and I know I've shared with this is completely off track. I'm going to put foam tape on the back of there before I tell my random story. When I grew up, we did something, and I've shared this story before, but it still makes me laugh. We walked beans. It's in a Midwest thing where we used to have to walk through the bean fields and get rid of the bigger weeds that would mess up the combine and stuff when they came through to harvest. So we would walk beans. So I said to as I was graduated out of high school and out of college, my new friend that had grown up in California her whole life, I said to her, on my 16th birthday, we really didn't do much. I had to walk beans, and we were with the hired hands that day. So I really didn't celebrate my birthday. And her face was so cute. She was so genuine. She goes, that is adorable. You had a dog named Beans. And I think her name was Danielle. I think about her to this day. Was such a sweetheart. Yeah, she could not understand why I was cracking up. I just put a little bit of glue underneath the tails of that bow just to at least keep the disco bow kind of down. It looked a little loose, so I just kind of wanted to reinforce it. That's what I just did. Then I know Taylor showed you this Cheers confetti on Tuesday. I just think it's cute, and it's so good for filling in this space and jazzing up your card just a little bit. And I've lost my pick and place tool, and I cannot function without it. And you can pick either the black glasses, or we could do one of each. I just think they're such a cute addition to the card without really having to do anything extra but glue. And like I always say, I always fuss around and kind of put things in its place, and it takes me a minute. But the good part about On My Live is that I can just follow my pattern from my original card. And the good part is when you're mass producing, same thing. Let's do a little bit different. We'll do one of each. A black and a silver. There we go. I'm going to put a few more stars here and there. And this mix is just so nice. If you had something else like a wedding, or you wouldn't use the champagne glasses, but like a graduation card, I feel like there's so many elements in here that'll be good for tons of other celebrations. So again, just following the pattern I've already created with my other one I made. I'm gonna look for some of I had to dump out a lot today because again, same thing Taylor had the other day. I had to get past the champagne glasses that were a little big in my way. One more here. I just want one more, I think, down in here. Two more. We'll call it good. Like I said, let me reiterate. Don't forget that the 20% off the bundle for all of the New Year's items will run through next week. This one does not want to flip over for me. There we go. runs through next week. So just make sure that you get yours purchased before the sale ends or it sells out. But that goes through Tuesday before 9 a.m. next Tuesday. So it'd be 8:59 next Tuesday. Make sure if you want that, you get that. And it's also while supplies last. But then on Tuesday of next week, Taylor will be here to show you the Black Friday bundles. I'm excited about them. I think you will be very excited about them. And they're always an amazing deal. So that's why you have to act fast. So she'll tell you all about it so that you can be ready for when those start. And yeah, there is my 2 cards. Let me bring, if I can find it in my tornado, my teal version in. There you go. I hope you try it this year. Unless you're one that has done it in the past, here's an easier way to go about it and create some New Year's cards for your friends and family. So I hope you have I won't see you next week Thursday because we don't have a live because that's Thanksgiving Day. So I think I will see you, I will be back the week after Thanksgiving on Thursday. And of course, Taylor will be there on Tuesday. But that's when I will see you again. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and I hope you have safe travels if you're going somewhere.